I remember that you also said your boss also, when you were doing articleship, was pursuing CPA. What was the story all about?
When I was doing my articleship, my principal under whom I was an article, she was planning to go to the US. I asked her, "Are you going on vacation to the US?" She said, "No, I'm going there to take my CPA exams."
You being a leader in this profession for so many years, how are you seeing the tax work getting changed in next 5 years from here on?
Obviously, there will be certain sections, certain part of the tax preparation work that will be done by AI. Even if AI is doing or will do a lot of preparation work, the review and the consultancy will still needs to be done.
Are you telling like Vishal that the world will belong to reviewers more than preparations?
Yes, partially yes.
But do you think is it possible, because you are telling someone to just go into the manager level without he being knowing the entire process itself?
Titles and the roles not necessary has to be like that. But to be a reviewer, not necessary you have to be a manager.
Most of the parents have not heard about CPA, CMA, EAs, CA. So what would be one of the things, Vishal, which you would want to talk?
These are qualification that broadens the opportunity that someone may have.
From Kolkata to California, from PwC to EY, his journey has been one of the most inspirational journey, and now he's leading Citrin Cooperman India, which is one of the top 16 CPA firms in the US and considered to be one of the prestigious accounting firms as well. We have none other than Vishal Agarwal, who's a qualified chartered accountant, licensed CPA with over 22 years of experience in US tax, folks. Welcome back to Brains Behind Billions. I am your host Sripal Jain, CA CPA. As we know, every week we bring you some of the top inspiring leaders who keep inspiring you in each and every journey with respect to accounting, audit, finance, and whatnot. And today we have none other than Vishal Agarwal, who is a chartered accountant and CPA himself with over 22 years of experience, and is also the managing director of Citrin Cooperman India. Welcome to the show, Vishal. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Shripal. Thank you for having me.
So, Vishal, one of the most important questions which I start off my all the podcast with is, how did your entire journey start, and why did you start off with chartered accountancy? So, would you want to throw some light on that?
Sure. Chartered accountancy came naturally to me. In Kolkata, coming from a Marwari family, all my cousins were doing CA. So by default, that was the career to be, to embark, and it came naturally. So I did my CA, and fortunately, I did my CA without any failure. So the age of
So, it was
22.
first attempt, guys.
So the age of 22, I was a chartered accountant, and I'm glad that I chose this profession.
So, was it picked up because your friends were doing, or was it something which finance or the numbers were more interesting to you?
Uh, not really. So I was good in maths, um, good in accounts as well, but I didn't kind of give it a thought that what I want to become. And like I said, my cousins in my family, they were all doing CA. So that it's a peer pressure that builds up, that everyone else is doing CA, you also should do CA. You can uh, think about it like a family pressure, that that CA is the only profession. If you are in a commerce background, you have to do chart accountancy. MBAs those days were just becoming popular. It was not so popular at that point in time. So that's how it happened.
So, how was it, Vishal? Like, so you started off, how was your articleship, and what were the memories there?
Articleship was good. I did my articleship through a very small firm. Mostly doing tax audits, or tax return filings.
So, that time only you had a good experience or an interest for tax.
To be honest, I used to hate tax.
Okay.
I
And
used to
he
hate
has
tax like
22 years
anything.
of experience in tax.
So it's all destiny, I would say. Sometimes you hear these that whatever you hate most, you ultimately end up doing that. So I think that what's happened with me. I used to hate tax. Even my tax paper in my CA, I was literally I was worried how I would, clear that paper. But with God's grace, I was able to do that. But articleship was good, a small firm, but gained a lot of experience dealing with clients.
And then how did you land up in the big fours, like post articleship? So did they consider articleship also as one of the asset, or because you were a final CA final first attempt? How did it happen?
No, so I
So
didn't
what was your
join.
first company though?
Yeah, I didn't join Big Four straight away after
Okay.
completing my
Okay.
CA. I joined a company called Digital Avenues Limited.
Okay.
It was a startup in Kolkata
Wow, that time.
at that time, 2003, and into US tax and accounting.
Hmm.
And like I said, I did my CA just because of the peer pressure. I was not really into, or I would say, was not very interested in doing a regular stuff what every other chartered content was doing.
Hmm.
So I was looking for something different, and I came across this job opening in the C Institute, where they list all the open positions. And I thought, this is interesting. U.S. tax, U.S. accounting.
Hmm.
So let's try to do this. And went for the interview, got selected. It was a 20-member team, a very small team. And we were just beginning. We were reaching out to the CPA firms in the US, and we started getting some work. Went to US couple of times to meet those
Oh.
CPA
And that
firms.
was your first company.
That was my first company. So that's how my career started. And then one of the CPA firm in the US, somewhere saw my profile that there's someone in India doing US taxes, and so they reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested to join them.
Hmm.
And they sponsored my H1B. Went to the US. I was there for close to 3 years,
I know
and
H1 is
learned
a
a
very
lot of
strong topic right now.
learned the tax technical. That was the those 3 years is where I learned most of my tax technical skills. How critical it is. What areas to focus on, and that was about it. And then I came back to India to be with my parents, and I joined Genpact for a very short time, and then PwC was um, expanding in Kolkata, and being from Kolkata, it was the best thing for me to come back to my city, and joined PwC as a manager.
Awesome. So this is an crazy experience, right? So you started off articleship, and then in your first company going to the US. So how was the Josh that time, like going to the US and all, and you are from Kolkata?
Very, very exciting. I was very excited. The family was very excited, and the excitement turned into a little bit of worry, because when I landed in the US, my flight was delayed and I missed my connection. A young fellow never went outside of India with my two suitcases, what to do, what not to do. So I had to figure out a lot of stuff, and it was already kind of midnight. But it was a very good experience, especially if we are dealing with um, people from another country. It's very important to know their culture,
Mm.
and those trips, made me, learn the culture, as to how different they are, how to, what their expectations are, and things like that. So it was exciting time. It was really good, but I learned a lot
You,
during my trip.
you spoke a lot about culture. So what was one quality which you felt like, Sripal, this is something which we could learn more about or get inspired about?
Be straightforward. Sometimes we, as Indians, we feel that this is rude,
Mm.
but I think in a business environment it is very important to be straight and direct in your in your discussions. If you have questions, be very direct, or if you have a different point of view, just make sure that you put it in front of the people you are in discussions with. So that was one big culture learning for me.
And don't you think that looks little rude when you're like being blunt about it or being straight about it? So how did you kind of perceive that?
Obviously it was very awkward to begin with. When I came across this culture change, but then later I realized that it is good for everyone because there's no scope of ambiguity. When we say we want to say the same thing, but we use 100 different words to
Exactly.
go around, and then still there is some ambiguity around it, whether you want it or you don't want it, or what is that you want to say. Being straight and honest is always helpful because it also helps in your relationship as well. There's no space for any kind of confusion, and that can lead to a lot of relationship issues in the future. So that
Yeah.
was.
So we also saw that you have done a CPA as well. So folks, I have done is licensing as well. But coming to the CPA degree, so why did you think that CPA is important? Because you are already a chartered accountant. So why CPA then?
CPA is important. See, chartered accountancy is good. Of course, you learn a lot technical stuff, and then uh, we can argue that the accounting principles are probably the same, right? Debit is debit, credit is credit, and the tax laws again are on similar principles. The regulations can be different, but ultimately the principles are the same. But doing a CPA adds credentials because if you are working for clients in the US, and when you say I'm a chartered accountant from India, they may not understand what chartered accountancy is, how difficult it is, what do you learn, what do you don't learn. But when you say you are a CPA, it just gives them confidence. Um so that's why it's very important that you do your CPA, even if you are not learning anything extra. Say, for example, versus a chartered accountancy, it gives you that credential, it gives you that confidence, it gives the confidence to the other
Stakeholders.
stakeholders as well. That yes, I know a CPA, you are a CPA, so I can trust you on my job.
Okay. So post CPA, we have seen that you have gone into different roles and all. You have also been into managers. So can you throw some light about leadership? What made you a great leader? So what do you think should be the qualities of a good leader?
I don't know. I can rate myself. I think everyone else should be rating me. But leadership is, I would say, it's a common sense with a vision. You need to have a vision as to what you are trying to achieve, and use your common sense to achieve your vision. I think we exaggerate a lot the word leadership. I think anyone can become a leader. It's just about the position basically. But if you if I can say, everyone is a leader in one way. Even when a teacher, say for example, a teacher is a leader as well. The teacher is teaching his or her students, and showing them a vision as what they can become in the future, and the students follow what teacher is teaching them. So in one way, a teacher is a leader as well. Even if a staff, say for example, a new staff or a senior, they are leaders as well, because they're leading their own life. In a way, they have a vision for their own life as well. So it's just the scale changes. Ultimately, we are all leaders. So I would say we need to have a vision, need to have empathy, need to have a little bit of common sense, and definitely you can prove to be a good leader.
So you have been like hiring a lot of people as well, and you lead a very large team in Citrin India here. But one thing which you felt that Sripal, this is one thing which I do, or where the people relate to Vishal, that whenever is there some issue and all, so people try to relate Vishal with that. What would be that?
So uh, two things. One, we try to foresee what's coming in the future, or know what we can do from where we are to where we want to be. Using that, come up with action items as to know what we can do to make sure our people are happy, our stakeholders are happy, and we are achieving what we want to achieve. The other piece is problem solving. I think that's important. Even though on a day-to-day basis, a lot of issues that we come across that we may not have envisioned in advance, that we may face these challenges. So solving those in an innovative way is something that we do on a regular basis as well.
So I think this is one of the very good point which Vishal spoke about is a leader can see things which his team can't. So I think the vision is very, very important. And that's where I think one of the most important qualities of leadership is to always forecast how the future is. Now, how do you manage time? Like, what is the secret to time management by Vishal?
Um, don't get involved into micromanagement. You cannot be a leader if you are doing macromanagement. You need to have people around you who can do their job, and you trust them. And even knowing that they may make some errors here and there, but still you need to give them that
Freedom.
independence to do their job, or do play their role, and that will give you time to focus on things that you should be focusing on.
That's an excellent point. So, when we are coming to time management, I think delegation is very, very important, and delegation with trust is also super important today, right? So, now when we have a lot of these discussions with respect to leadership and all, how do we inculcate scaling skills? Because you scaled such a big team and all. So, how do we incorporate that skill of scaling? Because there are a lot of people who want to grow to the manager level, to AM levels and all, but they don't understand the power of scaling. So what is one suggestion would you want to give to them?
Uh, See, scaling, if you're just talking about the volume in the sense of number of teams, or number of hours being delivered, you know, you need to learn from what is happening around you, and what your peer group, what they are doing. If I have to grow uh, my firm, I cannot just see what we can do in Citrin, but we need to learn from what others are doing and pick up some of the best practices from them. I cannot be in work in silo, that okay, this is what I'm doing is the only way that we can scale. So constant learning, and it's okay to learn from your competitors sometimes as well, as to what we can do. So keep your eyes and ear open, see what's happening around the world, and keep adapting to those situations.
I understand that you were in the US and then you came back to India as well. So, leading GCC is like a capability center, heading Citrin Cooperman is a good experience versus you were in the US enjoying there. So, how is the both the experience and which one you're enjoying the most now?
I think it's difficult to make that comparison, because it's two different world altogether. Of course, uh, life is easier, I would say, in the US. Not easier, it's the quality of life is better in the US, of course. But now if I reflect, I think what I'm doing now, I'm enjoying more. That it is giving me a lot of leadership opportunity to interact with a lot of people. And at the same time, I'm still working with most of the US stakeholders. So it's connecting me to both the worlds, actually. And then I end up traveling to the US at least once in a year. So I still
Okay.
get that feel of being in the US. So, but I would say, I'm enjoying more what I'm doing here in India.
So things looks very good and clean. So what are the challenges which are like, because it has been like one-sided successful journey. But would you want to share with us any challenges or setbacks you got in this journey?
I I don't know if I would call it setbacks. Fortunately, haven't had such setbacks. The only one thing I can recall, and then that connects to the question that you asked earlier with the US versus India. When I moved to the US, my plan was to stay there and
Okay.
build my career in the US taxation, being in the US. But I had to come back abruptly to India for my family reasons. And that at that point in time it was a little disheartening that I was doing well in my organization, and suddenly I had to leave everything and come to India to take care of family. But the other way, it is good that I'm with my family, with my parents, so it's a good thing. So I really cannot call
100%.
it a setback, but yeah, I mean, that point in time it was little disheartening for me.
So I think selecting the parents as priority as always, like, so obviously that could be the biggest factor as such. But then you have been there like 22 years with US tax, and there is audit versus tax का fight always. मतलब हर बार लड़ाई होती है कि भाई audit में जाए या tax में जाए. So how did you come to a conclusion that, and you were telling that you didn't even like tax. So
I
how
didn't like
did,
audit as well.
oh, you didn't like audit as well. So there are both the things which you didn't like. So how did you come into tax, and why did you kind of stick to that as well?
So, I mean, I started enjoying it. Maybe I was not enjoying tax as a student. But when I started doing tax in a more practical way, I started liking it. Because it made sense. When I was, as a student, it was more theoretical, not much of the practical aspect of it. But when you do the tax returns, or when you review tax returns, and you find different things that can be done, and the the complexity with all the regulations and everything, then I started liking tax. But as a student, I didn't like tax. I didn't like audit. Just did it for the sake of doing it.
So the research skills are more in the US tax, and I think that's what made you kind of stick to this field as well.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity to research. Like I said, the regulations are really complex, and there's an interest. It's interesting as well because a lot of those regulations, connect with each other. They're connected, and it applies to different client when they come and share their data. You see how those regulations can be applied to those information, and every situation is different. So that there was a lot of learning opportunity, and I had a partner in my firm in the US, and whenever I used to go to him with a certain question as to this is the client information, what do you want me to do, and his simple answer was go and research. Okay. So I went back, did some research, went back to him with my research paper. Then he used to look at it and say, can you research more on this particular topic? And I went back, did the research, and at that point in time it was very irritating that okay, why he's not giving me the straight answer. But I later realized that this was his way of teaching me, rather than giving a straight answer. You will never learn by doing that. So let everyone do the research, and that's how you learn basically. So tax, that's how I started liking tax more. Now to your question, tax versus audit, what should students choose? I think it's based on their liking again. Some may like audit, some may like tax, or some may say start their career with audit, say for example, and after a couple of years they feel that no, this is not my cup of tea. It's okay to move to a different subject altogether. It's not a compulsion that because I started my career in one particular area, I need to stick to it for all of my life and then still be, I would say, upset about it. It's better always to get off the train and catch the right train, so that you can make a long career. Career lasts for 35 years. It's if you start your career at 25, say for example, retire at 60, 35 long years, and you cannot drag it with one particular area, and especially if you're not liking it. So it's always better to evaluate and then recalibrate yourself.
Okay. So I think evaluation is a very, very important factor, right? So now when we come on to this CA, CPA and all, and I remember that you also said that your boss also, when you were doing articleship, so was pursuing CPA. What was the story all about?
So I was when I was doing my article shape. My principal under whom I was an article, she was planning to go to the US. So I just curiously, I asked her, are you going on vacation to the US? She said, no, I'm going there to take my CPA exams. And I was like, what is CPA? And then she told me this is, equivalent to a chartered accountant in the US. And I'm talking about 1999 is when I think
Almost
nobody
26 years.
knew about what the CPA is, and I heard from it, and then I dismissed it. Okay, I never thought I will get into the U.S. Tax or accounting role, so I just heard, and then okay, congratulated her and wished her all the best, and then when I started my US tax career, then when I realized okay, this is what she was doing, or she was getting into CPA so many years ago.
So most of the parents have not heard about CPA, CMA, EA, SSC, CIA. So what would be one of the things, Vishal, which you would want to talk to even to the parents who are watching our podcast, like how these qualifications are useful and how do we kind of use that in Citrin as well?
So see, these are qualification that broadens the opportunity that someone may have. So, just give you an example. Say somebody is a chartered accountant. In that case, the opportunities are more within the Indian accounting and finance domain. But if you add CPA or CMA, it just broadens your opportunity. You can get into more of a global opportunities as well. It's not that just being a chartered accountant you cannot do that. But like I mentioned earlier, it gives you that
Credentials.
that helps build more confidence among your stakeholders and with yourself as well. So my suggestion to the parents would be that be open, embrace that these are qualifications that will help your kids do more. Or it will add more opportunity for them from a job perspective.
So parents who are not aware of these professional qualifications, like you said, whenever if someone is in commerce department, typically they are into chartered accountancy. So who all are watching this podcast, especially parents, what do you want to tell like about CPA, CMA, and why would one want to do this?
Like I said, it will give an opportunity for the more roles open up basically. Just say a chart accountant or an MBA, you may be confined to more of the Indian financial jobs. But with these additional degrees, opens up more opportunity from job perspective, and you know the progress can be faster when you have these credentials.
Okay. So I think the progress and obviously the recognition as well. So it feels or makes you global as such. Now coming to a big buzzword which is AI, artificial intelligence. So there are a lot of people who are asking like, will AI automate a lot of the entry level work in the US tax, the prep work? Because I think this is one of the most important segments. Most of them would want to watch very closely on because being a leader in this profession for so many years, how are you seeing the tax work getting changed in next 5 years from here on?
So I think it's still in a very nascent stage right now. Now, obviously, there will be certain sections or sections in certain part of the tax preparation work that will be done by AI in the future. So, just to give you an example, it's already happening in many cases where in your corporate tax return, where you do the book to tax adjustments, especially with respect to the flux M adjustments. Those can happen through AI because it's just picking the numbers from the trial balance and prior year tax return and coming up with
Cross
those.
telling kind of stuff.
Yeah, but there will be many others that may not be possible. I am just saying may not be. I don't know because AI is still evolving. May not be possible for AI to do. Say, for example, change in method of accounting. When there's a change in method of accounting, there's so many different things to be taken care of that AI probably cannot pick, right? That we have to, tell and do those analyses, what will be the impact and how it should be treated and things like that. Uh, I don't think there's to be worried about. The other piece is we need to see how we structure our training program, because even if AI is doing or will do a lot of preparation work, the review and the consultancy
Will
will
be
still
there.
needs to be done. The client still expect us to be their trusted advisor, and they will come to us for various consulting projects
So
in
are you
tax.
telling like Vishal that the world will belong to reviewers more than preparations?
Yes, partially yes. It will be more of reviewer and consulting than preparation, but there's nothing to be worried about. Right now, we go through a process where somebody has to join as a preparer, then by with
Till
experience
he
they become
prepares
a
only he can
reviewer,
review.
and then they move on. But we will have to structure our training program in such a way that when you come in, you can directly review the work. It will be more extensive training, or not extensive. Extensive is not the right word. More innovative way of training people so that they can straight away start with the review work.
But do you think is it possible because you are telling someone to just go into the manager level without he being knowing the entire process itself? So don't you think it would be
Now we are confusing this. The
Hmm.
titles and the roles not necessary has to be like that. To be a reviewer, not necessary you have to be a manager.
Okay.
Okay, I think we expect even the staff or a senior to review, in the sense. So if I'm preparing a tax return, I should still be reviewing my own work. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to be a manager to be a reviewer. The definition of or the roles and responsibility at each level will change. So
Okay.
right now the expectation from a staff is to prepare. The expectation from a staff will become to review
Review.
the work that is done. Okay, so that definition will change. And one other thing I will add here is you learn more by reviewing rather than preparing, because when you are reviewing, you become critical. Either you review your own return, you become critical of your own work, or you become critical of the other work. So you learn more, because at that point in time, you're not thinking about numbers. You're
Exactly.
thinking about the other factors that are there in that tax return. Say, for example, this Schedule C has so many questions, right? So you need to you will go through those questions and then see what is applicable for your client, and things like that. So that's how it is.
So I think the reviewer also still require, in fact, all the profiles do require reviewing. I think that would be the part and parcel of the game in the future now.
Yeah.
And any skills which the professionals need to kind of develop in this disruptive AI era.
Be curious. That's going to be very important. And the other piece is, how can you be more adaptable to the changes that is happening. You cannot just rely on things that's this is how it has been all my life, and this is how it is going to be in the future. So I will not say these are skills, but these are the traits that somebody needs to have to survive in the AI world.
So many categories in US tax as well. We have individual US tax, then we have S Corp, C Corp, corporate taxation, then you have representations, litigations. So all these things. So we as a professional, if we want to start our career in US tax, how do we start? And do you think that a professional goes through all these phases, or how does it happen? Like how does it work out in the US tax, and how it was for you?
So when I started, and generally this is what happens with most of the tax professionals. Um it starts with doing everything. Okay, you do individual taxes, you do partnerships, S corp, C corps, primarily preparation, of course, and it with various industries as well. In the corporate taxes, you have real estate, financial services. So that's how generally anyone would start their career in tax. The reason is, as you grow up the ladder, or as you become senior or manager, then you start specializing in one or two particular areas. Say, for example, you can be a specialization. You can have specialization in, say, corporates. Like I have specialization in corporate taxes mostly, but still, I need to know individual taxation as well, especially say if I'm preparing, or I'm doing partnership tax returns, or I'm doing S corp tax returns. There will be K1s that goes to the individual, so I need to know what will be the impact of those K1s in those individual tax returns. Or say, for example, if I am
So all are interconnected as
or they're all interconnected one way or the other. Okay. Or if I'm an individual specialization in individual taxes, and then I get K1s, then I need to know why these numbers are there on those K1s, these particular boxes, or things like that. So to begin with, it's always important that you do everything, at least have a better understanding of the taxation rules in entirety.
Okay.
Also, it helps because when you are dealing with a client, especially in our middle market clients, we deal with businesses, and they may have their individual tax returns. They may have their S corp. They may have one S corp, one C corp, or maybe a partnership, and then the individual tax returns. We need to know everything about that particular business, and how it impacts the owners' individual tax returns, and things like that. So the business owners would like to talk to one individual rather than multiple individuals. Okay, for my C corp return, I'll talk to XYZ, and for my individual tax return, I will talk to ABC. It doesn't work that way. So you need to have a holistic picture of your client, and then that's how you can get into consulting as well. Tax consulting, because if you know everything about that family office, then you will be in a better situation to consult, or as to if you do this transaction in this your S corporation, this is how it will impact your individual tax returns, or the tax saving opportunity, and things like that. So start with doing everything. That will also give you an idea as to what are you liking more. Are you liking individual tax returns more, or are you liking corporate tax more? Like when I liked corporate tax more, and then I pursued corporate taxes, and that's how became an expert.
Somewhere there is a myth that corporate taxation people are more in demand than individual taxation.
No, nothing like that. Nothing.
Okay.
See, every individual will have to file their tax return.
Yes.
Every corporate will have to file the tax return. So I do not understand the why corporate tax has more demand or individual tax has more demand. There's nothing. I have not seen anything like that in my career, that one particular type of tax has more demand. The demand is equally distributed among different types of tax returns.
So how would we then see actually? So there are different categories in the US tax, like you said, that people would need to end know all these things. So now if someone wants to set up their own firm, right? If they want to become Vishal or something like that, so what should be their starting point for people who want to be entrepreneurs? So there are like people who would work for 5-6 years and they want to set up their own firm here in India. So what do you think they should be taking, say 3-4 steps which they need to do mandatorily?
I think first they need to have what I would say, their infrastructure in India, because without that infrastructure, you cannot approach a firm in the US to co-source with them, or outsource their work to them. You need to have that. And when I talk about infrastructure, is also about the IT infrastructure, because that is critical. Especially with the IT security and data security and all of that should be in place, because the first question when you approach someone will be, we are going to share our client data with you. How would you ensure
data
that,
privacy is very important.
There will be data privacy. So that's very important. You need to be very solid in terms of your infrastructure. Second is it's a catch-22 situation. First, I should have my team, or first I get my clients.
Exactly.
Because I can have a team and I don't get clients for the first 3 or 4 months, then how I'm going to sustain my business.
Yes.
My personal views, you need to have a team, because now if you don't have a team and then you go and approach a client, and luckily your first client says, yes, let's do it, then you cannot tell that client, okay, wait for a few months, let me set up my team. You need to have a team. You need to have a trained team. Ensure that they go through all those learning. They should know U.S. taxation, or if you are doing audit, or even accounting, they should have some relevant experience. And training in those areas, especially the software tools, because the tools are different from what we use in India. So, and not just one tool. They have multiple tools, and each client or each CPA firm may use different tools.
Correct.
So you need to have that
Tools
bouquet
knowledge as well.
bouquet of services and learning and training and all of that. And then approach the clients, and if you get a client, then need to make sure you deliver quality, because you need to have those references in the future when you try
So
to grow in
referrals
a
also
big
play a very important.
very important role. A very important role. So those are like maybe two or three very basic steps. Of course, we can talk about it all day, but these few things really need to be taken care of.
So when we talk about, I think we spoke a lot about networking skills. We spoke about data privacy and different things like infrastructure and all. Having said that, we also see that a lot of the private equity players are coming in the accounting industry. So they normally would absorb all these smaller firms. So do you think the outsourcing would still continue to India to, so if I'm a chartered accountant and I'm a CPA and I'm setting up my own firm here in India, don't you think that could be a big kind of shock to these people if they want to set up something?
See, the number of accounting firms in the US is huge. Like they
No,
they are
40,000 firms.
multiple, from $1 million to $1 billion firms. They are,
Correct.
if you see the list of inside public accounting, they have list of all the accounting
Yeah,
firms
it's
based
almost
on
like
the rank.
40,000 firms. Yeah.
But you're right, with private equity coming in, there's a lot of acquisitions that is happening on a regular basis. We do those as well throughout the year. So my advice is, don't be content. Say, for example, I have 10 CPA firms, and I'm like happy. I don't need to market more. I don't need to add more clients to my kitty. I don't think they need to get into this kind of a mindset. They need to constantly
Look
try
for new
to add
clients.
more clients, because there will be a situation where you may lose a few clients because there was an acquisition or a merger that happened. So you have to constantly look for new clients and keep adding them to your kitty.
So Vishal, now we are moving to one of our most important segment, and which we call it as rapid fire round.
Okay.
So are you ready, Vishal?
Okay, we'll try.
Okay, so how would your so if your career would be in terms of cricket stroke, so would it be a straight drive, a cover drive, or an helicopter?
I would say a straight drive.
And why?
My career has been, working in a very simple, linear, straight line. I would say, started with what I would say, a startup kind of an organization. We went to the US, did my CPA, learned technical skills, came back, joined PwC, grew in PwC from a manager to the tax leader in PwC, went to EY, learned different stuff over there, and then came to Citrin, where I've accumulated all my knowledge and then trying to implement here. So it's a very simple, I think this is generally a regular growth journey for anyone, I would say. So it's a straight drive, I guess.
So it's a straight drive, guys. Dhoni, Kohli, or Rohit, which leadership style suits you?
Dhoni.
Why?
I'm very cool.
Okay.
I don't remember I lost
that's
my
absolutely right.
I don't remember I lost my temper or my cool anytime in office. Whatever be the situation, I'm always like, okay, जो हुआ है हो जाएगा. Let's work it out. हो जाएगा. So it's very cool.
Audit or tax?
Tax, I would say. I mean, like my audit team members will feel bad about it, but I've been from the tax background, so of course tax.
CA or CPA?
Both. It's very difficult to actually give weightage to just one. I think both have their respective space, and both is a highly reputed credentials, degree. So, both.
If CPA was a Bollywood dialogue, what would it be best fit?
I'm not a Bollywood person, so I don't know. I don't remember dialogue, but if not in dialogue way, but when I did my CPA, I was like, "ये तो मक्खन है." I don't know if that is a dialogue or not, but it was easy, okay,
Compared to chartered
compared
accountants,
to chartered
obviously.
accountants, or even if you have a good accounting background, if you know the fundamentals of accounting and have a common sense of how things work in the world, CPA is easy.
So, if you were given man of the match for your career performance, which moment would have been where you said, Sripal, यार मेरे को मिलना चाहिए man of the match ये performance के लिए?
I would, I think that situation has still not arrived.
Okay.
I'm expecting that to arrive very soon. So maybe in next 6 months we'll talk again.
Okay. So, what's your go-to Bollywood song that pumps you up before big meetings?
A lot actually, a lot of songs that I hear, but I think there's one from Bhag Milka Bhag, which is always there because it's a phenomenal story and what he has achieved. But it pumps me up, like just do it. Let's just do it. हो जाएगा.
So, in your corporate batting order, what role do you play? Opener, middle order stabilizer, or finisher?
I would say middle order stabilizer because stabilizing, opening is it's difficult, of course, but once you start something and then you don't stabilize it, then it's a challenge. Okay. And I would say when you stabilize it, you should finish it as well. You should not leave it for someone else to finish it for you. So stabilizer and finisher, I would guess.
Awesome. If you could exchange roles with any Bollywood actor for a day, who would it be?
Uh, I would say late Sushant Singh Rajput.
Awesome.
It's not been recognized that much, but has been phenomenal actor and what he has achieved in such a short time span. From the current ones, I think Rajkumar Rao. Simple, but you still make that impact.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. That kind of ends our rapid fire round, and he have got 10 out of 10 for this.
Oh, thank
So
you.
we have a very, very good gift hamper, which we normally give when someone kind of answers, as always. So Vishal have won this hamper for us. And Vishal, we have a book also, The Unique Classroom, which is written by me. So it basically covers the 13 stories of our inspiring students who have done CPA, CMA. So there was a Zomato delivery boy who did US CMA from us. We placed him in Infosys. He worked 2 years for Infosys. Then he kind of now doing MBA from IIM Kuzhikode.
Okay.
So there are some amazing stories which have covered.
the watchman.
Yes, security guard who's doing CPA.
CPA.
Yes, yes, yes. And this is a small gift, so we'd want to take.
Thank you. So Sripal, thank you. It's been a wonderful conversation. Now I have few questions for you.
Sure.
To begin with, what inspired you to start Simandhar and building this community of CPAs in India?
So I think the first important factor, Vishal, was obviously there were a lot of students failing in chartered accountancy. So I was teaching the CA students at national level, and I saw many of them were not passing the exams as well. As you know, the CA pass percentage is 10 to 12%. It's one of the toughest exams. There's no second thought about it. And I was wondering what would that 88% people do? And that's how we came up with all these alternative courses. They obviously couldn't be a substitute to chartered accountancy, but they could be a good value adders or enablers for them to kind of progress. And that's how we started Simandhar Education, doing a lot of these courses like CPA, CMA, CIA, EAS, CA. We had a lot of BCom students also who used to just do the back-end job of data entry. Now with this CPA, CMA qualifications, they are now more into front-end role, and that helps them to become a global professional as well. And that's how we started off.
No, I think that's a very noble thought. And, to your point, I think these, CPA, CMA, they are an alternative to CA. There's no reason for us to say that it cannot be compared to CA, because it gives you equal opportunity from either starting your own firm or in from job perspective as well. Even from the compensations side, I would say they are comparable to what a chartered accountant would get to start with. So wonderful. So the next question that I have put for you is, how do you see the role of education providers like Simandhar in shaping India's global financial industry?
So I think, Vishal, also what we are trying to do is kind of ensuring that our students are job ready. They understand what is disrupting their profession in the next 5 years. I think that is what we do it. And through this podcast and thought leadership, obviously under your guidance, we are trying to see what all are the skills where we need to polish them. So we are trying to train them on communication skills, on storytelling, critical thinking, design thinking, and how they build their own leadership qualities. I think the idea is to make them leaders, make another Vishal out of this. So that is the entire intention, not to just give them a job. But I think post placement also we keep talking to them and understand what are they doing, how are they doing, how can they get promoted and all. So I am glad that a lot of our alumni are promoted to manager, senior manager. Even in Citrin we have a lot of these seniors as well. So I think that's where the vision is to become the Harvard, obviously, of India, is to ensure that in finance, not in all other areas, but at least in finance, that they all have to lead, they all have to become these capability leaders. And that's what is the vision, and that's how we are polishing them in those skill sets. So.
Wonderful. I think one point you commented, which I would reiterate, is the communication skills, because it is so critical, especially when you're working with people who are not in the same time zone. And especially English is not our first language. So I'm not saying communication skills is just about English, but it's about how to communicate, when to communicate, especially in a virtual environment. Is super critical. So, I think, we should continue to focus on building that skill. This is, after technical, communication skills is the most evaluated skill before anybody is offered to join the organization. So let's continue to focus on that. All right, the next question that I have put for you is, what challenges did you face in bringing CPA awareness to India?
I think the biggest challenge was a lot of people used to laugh at me when I started off CPA. They were like, why would someone do a CPA? So every parent used to ask, why will they hire CPAs in India? Because it's a US chartered accountancy. So why would someone want to kind of hire these guys in India? So I had to go to a lot of corporates, because a lot of the US companies were also not aware that CPA exam can be written in India first. And the CPA talent is in India as well. So I went on to go into different companies, do a lot of road shows. Today also I do a lot of road shows. I myself come. So unlike others, I'm not sure how the founders behave. But here I feel that the leadership goes from it, like leading from the front, like Mahendra Singh Dhoni kind of concept.
Yeah.
So it's important that we go to the road shows and create awareness, and that's where the thought leadership comes. So I think that's how companies became more serious about hiring this talent. But before that, the challenge was obviously that why would we hire CPS? One is. Second is, why would the student do CPA? That was a parent's question. So we tried to solve both the puzzle by trying to ensure first we go to the corporate side and fix the problem. One or two placements when we start doing that, that became viral. These people kept speaking about Simandhar is just not an institution where education ends with just qualification, but it ends with employment.
Yeah.
So that's where we kind of took the lead, and now I'm glad that we are able to place we have placed 10,000 students now. So that's a record actually in India, at least in this field of CP and CMA.
No, that's wonderful. And I think we should give credit to you to bring CP exams to India as well. I think a lot of people who even wanted to do CPA but didn't pursue it because they had to travel to the US, or I think that it was Dubai
Yes,
later,
that time in Dubai.
for the CP exams. With bringing CP exams to India, made it accessible, this
Right.
degree accessible to India. So we should give credit to you for
No, I think the corporates played a very big role, and I think Vishal sir, I would want to share a small story where the NASBA president invited me, and that time in the national office I did speak about that the exams has to happen in India if CPA has to grow, because they were having a lot of accounting shortages in the US, and that's how they understood. And now they are opening up more centers. That's what I heard. Previously it was only in the metropolitan. Now they are also planning to open centers in Indore and all. So we had a call last month. They asked me a feedback that where do you want in tier 2, tier 3 locations also,
Wow.
because a lot of the firms like you are even hiring tier 2, tier 3 locations.
Yeah.
And then we have the Prime Minister internship schemes also, where you would hire a lot of people from there. And first of all, thank you so much for considering those locations also as per Prime Minister's scheme. So I think that's where if these people also start doing CPA and all, that would really change India's fortune.
Probably will come. There will be a day in the future where we'll have more CPAs versus CAs passing out every year. Hopefully, we'll make
100%.
it there soon.
That would be great.
Awesome. So the next one is with thousands of Simandhar alumni placed in Big Fours and MNCs. What are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of when they went on to become vice president. One of my alumni became VP in Citibank, Bobby Agarwal, and one of them became senior manager in Deloitte. So there are a lot of people like that who are getting promoted, because it's not just about, like I said, placing them in some company and all, but it's about how they grow into leadership, and they still remember.
Yeah.
Today also, like they have studied. I have never messaged my professor when I've studied. But even after they get promoted, they still connect. No, Sripal sir, you placed us. So that connection is still there, and I'm very, very proud of that. That they haven't forgotten me,
Wonderful.
and I will not be like upset also if they forget me. Also, I will be the most happiest person, because then they are getting more busy. That's why they don't have time, right? But I'm glad that they still remember me for all these things. So that's what I'm really proud of.
Awesome. Awesome. So, how do you balance academic rigor with making students industry ready?
I think the most important thing is to kind of make them wake up at morning 4 a.m. So we have a 4 a.m. club.
I saw that.
So I think definitely the next 4 a.m. club, I would want you to be there to motivate them. So we had a lot of these leaders also participated in the 4 a.m. club. What one thing that does is it inculcates discipline. And we also gave them a letter, sir, that they woke up at 4 a.m. That they can put it in their resume, and they can convince the recruiters also they are also serious, because today you hire for attitude. You don't hire for skills, because skills can be taught, but attitude is something which can't be taught. And that's what we got feedback from you leaders, that I think that's what, Sripal, you need to focus more on to make this generation more disciplined. And that's where we started off this 4 a.m. club, and that was revolutionary. And today it's going on every day morning 4 a.m. our students wake up. And that has been one of the biggest kind of thing where we are trying to see that they become job ready, because communication skills, everything will come if they are more hardworking and if they are willing to give time, and that comes only when they are waking up early and they are taking all these challenges.
I agree. So even you spoke about attitude versus skills. So even when I interview candidates, I look for two things: communication skills and attitude. If skills can be trained, that's why they join as a staff or a senior, and then they learn. And I still learn on a daily basis. So the learning never ends. But if you don't have the right attitude, then you will not even be willing to learn.
Exactly.
If you have the right attitude, even while you are working, you will be willing to learn on a daily basis from your mistakes. You will admit your mistakes, and then you learn from it, and then move forward. And those are the people who grow real fast versus those who have attitude issues. So I would always refrain from people who have attitude issues. Where do you see CPA education in India in the next 5 to 10 years? I think we said more CPAs
More
than
CPAs
CAs.
from India, actually. Obviously, I think the US government is also like, we have seen the recent news, and also I not much comment on the political development, but I think the shortages are more. So the talent is always less. So we are to trying our level best to promote in the universities everywhere. But we want a lot of these firms like you become the leaders and all, and kind of lead the firms. I think that's where the vision would be.
So last one. What personal advice would you give to a student struggling in their CPA journey today?
I think the most important thing is to not get overconfident once they fail. And I'm telling overconfident once they fail, because normally we tell that once you pass, you become overconfident. But once you fail also, they are overconfident, because they think that, okay, next time I'll not fail. And then they again fail. That happens in audit exam a lot.
Or I remember my audit.
Because they keep failing again and again, because they think that they assume that once I have failed, there is no reason why second time I'll fail. That kind of overconfidence lead to failure again. So when you are failing, it is very important to take it very seriously. I took it during my CA inter exams. When I failed with like 15 to 16 marks in costing, I studied like as if I say I've done a big mistake by failing me. So I got 71 next time and got exemption, but I studied 16 to 17 hours every day. So I think you should take failure personally, and that is the only time when the ego must be used. Other than that, you shouldn't use ego. That's what I feel.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Vishal, for sharing your journey with us. Your story kind of shows how success is built. It is not built overnight, it is built with consistent efforts, with continuous learning, with discipline, and with adaptability. Though you said that it's just a straight drive, but doesn't look like, it doesn't seem so when we talk to you. It has been a lot of struggles, lot of calmness and coolness in extreme situations. So I really loved our conversations, not just with respect, and the way you were answering each and every question with such serene and such calmness in your answers. That gives a lot of inspiration to a lot of the people also, that if you want to be a great leader, you need to be a calm person, and you don't need to be a micromanager, like you said. If you really want to excel, don't be a micromanager.
Thank you, Shripal, for hosting me. It was really a pleasure talking to you and exchanging ideas, sharing my journey with you, and again, what you have done to build a CPA community in India is truly inspirational. We really appreciate what you have done. Being a CPA, I can feel what you have done, and thank you for everything that you do. And I still remember when I met you in EY office, and you asked me, Vishal, CPA license ho gaya kya? And like, no, transcript and everything was a challenge. And you guided me as to how to get my transcript, get all the transcript and get the CPA license. So thank you for guiding and getting my CPA license done.
Thank you so much, Vishal. And that kind of ends our Brains Behind Billions podcast. And I'm your host, Sripal Jain. But now I'm not your host because I'm kind of signing off for today. And for students and parents who are watching us, remember, while CA is a strong foundation in India, global programs like CPA, CMA, CIA, EA, ACCA are career multipliers. Awareness is still low, but Vishal's journey shows those who explore beyond the obvious often build the most inspiring stories. To everyone tuning in, that was Brains Behind Billions, powered by Simandhar Education. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and keep learning, keep growing, and keep building your story. Until next time, I am Sripal Jain. Yes, I was seeing the paper and reading it, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.